Good morning. First of all, I just wanted to take a moment and thank Mark for that wonderful introduction this morning. For those of you, as you mentioned, I was a lay leader years ago. That's why I'm still here today, because I'm still on the rotation. I had the privilege of working closely with him, and he came up to me a couple weeks back, and he's like, hey, if you still want to do this message, I'm willing to help you write it. And lo and behold, last week I took him up on it. So as I get started today, I just want to thank him for guiding me through this. So I'm going to ask you today, how many people here like to admit when they're wrong? How many people here like to ask for help? Well, have you ever felt a certain way and wondered why? Well, guess what? That's all part of the plan. Sometimes we will feel a certain way and not know why. Trust me, I know. This day and age is different from the time before it and the time before that. Evolution changes those That's a fact. And my 9th grade biology teacher could not stress that enough. Those things can be good or bad, and they can build you up or tear you down. It can even cause us to not know how to handle these changes. Some days will feel great, and some days won't. But we need to trust that things will get better. There are definitely days where we just want to wonder, why? Why me? Why now? And we will often want to blame other things or people. This past week, actually, I went to see the new Inside Out 2 movie. And that movie taught me a lot. One of the main things that people are raving about is its ability to perfectly capture the emotion anxiety. You see, the point of the movie, the Inside Out movies, is that the emotions, joy, anger, fear, sadness, disgust, and now the new ones, boredom, envy, embarrassment, and anxiety, are all here to show the feelings we have as people. And if there's one thing that movie taught me, it's that we're all gonna feel how we're gonna feel, no matter how hard we try and change that. But no matter what we do, we need to remain steadfast in our faith, because that faith is our baseline for the game of life. We can't sit around and just cry and wonder why. Wondering why is not going to change anything. And yeah, you can always pray to the Lord for guidance. I'm not telling you not to do that. But wasting time asking why something is happening instead of being proactive, trying to fix it, that's just going to set you back. What you need to do is you just need to work on being better. You just pray on it. Now, I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't being hypocritical there. I'm all for trying to help people, but sometimes I forget to work on myself. And no one prepares you for all the hardships in life, but what they can prepare you for is how to handle them. We're going to have hardships throughout our entire lives. Junior year of high school, remember it? Yeah. My friend told me that she rates it 10 out of 10, would not recommend. And that year truly made me wonder why. It was the year that made me seem just a little bit crazy. It was then that I needed more support than before. It was then that the pressure was on. If you want to summarize that year in one word, pressure. But that's where the guidance comes in, both spiritual and physical. And if there's one thing I've learned in life, if there's one thing I've learned in life, it's that we're always going to have some type of answer, whether it's spiritual, physical, therapeutic, whatever it may be, but it's going to be here and it's going to work for us. It's going to be what works for us. And I've tried a lot of different methods throughout this past year. I tried writing things out on sticky notes. I can't tell you the amount of sticky notes I went through this year. I'd write things out, and at the end of the day, rip them up to symbolize putting it behind me. I've tried listening to the song, You Will Be Found, that my choir director, we sang that at our spring concert. And that song, I have a whole playlist of just different renditions of it that I put on when I need to recenter myself. Or I'll talk endlessly with my friends to work things out. But the reason that song works so well for me, that's still a mystery to me. But what I can tell you is that when I heard it the first time, I was coming back from another thing that I had added to my, basically to my schedule this year, unsolicited counselor meetings. So once a week, I would meet up with my guidance counselor. And so I was coming back from one of those counselor check-ins, and I walked into chorale class where we were singing this song for the first time. And take a listen to some of the lyrics. Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear, like you could fall and no one would hear? At the time, I answered yes to every single one of those questions. But not only does the song pose those questions, but it also answers them. It guides you. It then tells you to let that lonely feeling wash away, because maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. Because even when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand, and someone will come running, and they'll take you home. So just lift your head and look around. You will be found. There are so many meanings to those lyrics, but all I know, and I don't even know why it stuck to me, but all I knew is that those lyrics were what I needed at that time, because that's just it. No matter what we need or what we might think we need in those moments, God provides. Even if we don't know it's what we need, He does. We may think that we don't need it and just try and find other ways. Again, I've done a lot of things. I've tried a lot of things this past year. And so one thing that there is no answer. Everyone is different. Everyone has their own plan. Some like to keep busy, some don't. Some are more introverted than others, and some extroverts. But He provides us with all the choices, or rather pieces, to the puzzle of life, and we have to piece them all together ourselves. Some will be simple, and others more complicated. I, myself, am a complicated person, and maybe this is a normal thing, but I either like to talk through it with my friends, or just stay silent. And some of those things I don't even want to say to my friends because I'm worried that I will say something that I will later regret. So when I don't feel like talking to my friends, I just let it all out by yelling at an inanimate object. Most recently, I'll go in the shower and just yell at a duck. It works. But when all else fails, I take it to Him, and I believe that He answers it by putting the right people in our lives at the right time. For me, actually, this came in the form of two of my closest friends amongst some others. All of these people have been here on more levels than they can ever understand, and more than I can ever repay them for. I would go so far as to call them my unpaid therapists. They just sit there and help me through everything, and I mean everything. They give me tips and tricks that they've used in their own lives. And one of the best pieces of advice they've ever given me, look at the word fear. So we usually think of the word fear as a reason not to do something, right? Well, in this case, fear is actually an acronym with two meanings. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is ours. We can take the easy way out or the hard way and work for it. Work that will prove to help us in the long run. Work that will not only work on us, but make us better. Not only does He put those good people in our lives, but He also works with us and puts ones to test us. Putting people that will make us, again, wonder why. But no matter what we need, remember that He has a plan. That plan is for us to be proud of who we are. It may include choices like fear, but no matter what we choose, the choice is still ours. The mistakes are still ours. The bad moments are still ours, but the help is still for us. If there's one thing I can leave you with today, it is to stay true to who you are. Remember that you are created in His Again, everyone is different. Some will need just one vent session a week. This could be from a trained professional or even an unpaid therapist. I myself have tried both now, and I still can't find the right fit. Or you could be someone that can clear their head and put stuff behind them just like that. Not me. The point is that not everyone is the same, but you need to learn how to be true to yourself and do what works for you. You need to argue less, to be you. Even as recent as yesterday, I was wrestling with myself, trying to finish this message. I found myself trying to add more to it, but then I would stray too far from the meaning and be repeatedly saying, no, this isn't good enough. No, I stray too far. But that's just it. Through my struggles, I wondered why. I waited. I was hopeful. And just like in Psalm 130, I remembered that no matter who we are, the Lord is there with steadfast love. So yes, you need to learn the tips and tricks that work for you, tips that will make you want to stay true to you and who you are. Remember that you will be found is always a great place to start. There's a reason I've mentioned that in front of 2 large crowds now. But if you're going to listen to any of the tips and tricks I give you this morning, just remember to be true and proud of who you are, whoever that may be. Whether it's someone that needs extra support or extra friends, whether it's someone who feels comfortable enough to tell anyone anything, or someone that wants to handle it on their own. Everyone is different, and we need to be proud of them. Be proud of who you are.